Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to BCW's webinar today. We're joined by Lola Olorunfemi. I got it right, Lola?
Yes, it is.
So thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Kim Ann Wilson, and I'm the marketing director for BCW in Action. And for those of you who don't know BCW and who we are a nonprofit organization here in Edmonton, and our focus is to empower, inspire, and to create confidence for all Black women, whether you're in business, whether you're in your career, whatever it is that you're doing. Our organization is here to help provide the resources and the tools you need to advance in life and in your business. So if you haven't already, please do go check out our website. Check out our website and see what we're about. And if anything, you can always sign up, fill out the form to get our newsletters on a monthly basis. So you can get a hold of us and learn what we're doing moving forward. This webinar that we're running today is part of the COVID strategy webinar series that we have running, and this is the third webinar out of 6. So thank you for joining, everyone, and we're going to quickly introduce Lola, who's going to share with us her insights, her knowledge, her experience, and her insight as a registered nurse on resuming life during this relaunch now that the economy is opening back up. So once again, thank you for joining us, and I'll hand it over to Lola. So Lola, please, over to you.
Thank you everyone, and thanks for joining in. I am Lola Olorunfemi. I don't need to do this introduction again. I'm happy to be here. I see some faces, I see some new faces, some old good friends. Hello everyone. I'm here to just drop some insights and some gems about what's happening in our society, and of course from a nursing perspective. I don't know, I hope everyone is doing well today, and I would start if you're ready, or is everybody feeling good today?
You can always give a thumbs up for some of the
thumbs up for those who don't. Okay. You can put in the chat. There's a chat box there. I would love this to be interactive. So from time to time, I can ask some questions. Sometimes we click. I like the thumbs up. That's amazing. I'm happy to see you guys. That's very good. I see 4 thumbs up. So that's pretty good. I'm going to start sharing and we're going to dive in. So I will take no much more of your time. So I'm going to start screen sharing here. And let me know if you can see my screen once I start. Can you all see my screen? Okay. Okay. Hold on. For some reason I can't hear you. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you just fine.
Oh, okay, good. Now I can hear you, Shiman. Good. All right. I'm going to go right ahead. The topic for my presentation today, of course, is resuming life after the lockdown from a nursing perspective. Life is resuming, of course. We were all at home. We didn't know what to do. And now we're still seeing the statistics. We don't know if we're going to go back to lockdown or we're just going to keep on moving. But at least there's a time for us to really reassess the whole situation. This is me, of course, and I have experience in various areas in nursing. I'm a nurse educator at the moment as well. I'm one of the board of directors of the Leader Nurse Consultant Association of the entire Canada. I'm a coach and I'm an author as well. Today's presentation I'll go across, just go briefly about what I'm going to talk about. Let me know if you have any questions. Kiman, please, if you don't mind, can you please monitor the chat box for questions, please, and prompt me. Okay, thank you. I'm going to go over the cause and effect of the pandemic and the whole situation at large, the whole year 2020. I'll go over the reset and the reevaluation and reinvent of ourselves, the things to do, and a mental check. Positive changes we can apply in our individual lives, and I'll do a brief demonstration of PPE, the face mask, of course, and the gloves. I'll just go and some resources, then how you can reach us. All right, the effect of this timeout or lockdown, it's been unprecedented on every one of us. It's so weird that we don't know where this came from, where it's gonna land us, and how it has affected me in a lot of ways. So there's a poll there, and can you just share with us and share with me how this pandemic has really affected you? This year I started with a lot of baggage with it. The first one there was wildfire in Australia. Then in February, there was Kobe Bryant's death. Now the pandemic, and we're still in here. Then of course the death of, and all of that. Well, I will focus on the pandemic. How has this affected you? So if you don't mind, just click and I'll be glad to know how this has affected you as a person. Whether it has increased your anxiety, for me it has, and I'm working on it. Mental health, job loss, physical health, please click on that and let us know how this has affected you. How has this changed your life? How has this changed the way you do things, your modus operandi? How has this changed you? And where do you think you can actually make an effect to counter the cause of the pandemic? There's a cause and effect to things. To every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So it's there's a need for us as individuals to actually change, to reset, to reevaluate, to reinvent and reassess ourselves. When the pandemic started, it seems like the reset button has hit the human race. Do you all agree with me on that? Can I see a thumbs up? Right? I think, yeah. Oh, I see physical health. Yes, that's amazing. I'm gonna pause and see. Okay, I see thumbs up on that too. Oh, anxiety. Oh my God, I need to talk more on that. I will tell you, so anxiety is the main one. For me, it is the same. That's amazing. Thank you for the feedback. Coping with, work, family life, having children at home, eating all the time, which is my own thing, you're home, and it has increased how we do life, how we address life. And thank you for your feedback. There's a time for reset. We all might not know it, we might not acknowledge it, but I'll tell you now, there's a time for us to reset. There's a time for us to reevaluate how we approach things. There's a time for us to reinvent ourselves and reassess ourselves. This is, my advice is we need to level up on our strength. The only person that can know more about themselves is you, right? So it is time for you to reevaluate your ways, the way you do things, your finances, how we manage our anxiety, our physical health, how are we taking care of it? Our finances, how are we reinventing, how are we gonna address that? And how do we assess the platform on which we operate as humanity? For me, this pandemic has taught me a lot of lessons, a lot of insight it has brought to me, of course. And I'll share another poll here, and let me know how this can connect with the anxiety. Has it taught you a lesson of endurance? Has it taught you a lesson of how you need to spend more time with your family? Has it taught you how you really need to plan ahead for your generation and many generations unborn that are linked to you? So feel free to fill that out, and I will wait. I'll give you time to select, and I'll see which one resonate more with you? Is it self-care? Have you really thought about, okay, maybe it's time for me to actually start taking care of myself, or self-evaluation? I'll give you some time to comment on that. Wow. Oh my God. So we have 25% on endurance, 25% says commitment and family time and self-evaluation. I'm very surprised nobody has taken self-care. Well, this is really good answers, and thank you for your feedback. I think self-evaluation is linked to self-care as well. And I think it's time for us to, for me, it has focused more on myself to self-care, because if you don't take care of you, how do you give more time to family? How do you give more time to your children? How do you give more time to your grandmother? How do you manage your finances? How do you plan for your future if you don't take care of you? So this is another thing I would like you to focus on, that there is a need for you to reinvent and reevaluate and reassess yourself. And let's re-educate ourselves on how we take care of us, how we do life, so everything around us can be informed and be changed. This is like a metamorphosis taking place to human race. And now we are seeing that the things we know, or things that we used to know, we need to really take time to hone down on it and really question ourselves, is this the best way we can do it? Is this the best way to really, really handle it? And today, self-care will be one of the things I will advise, so we can know how we can commit more, we can know how we can take care of ourselves, we can know how we can plan and manage our finances, and actually how we can give more. So today I've put together some tips. Please let me know if you have some questions as I'm talking. I have some tips that will help us how to really, really merge and go forward as women, as men, as family members, as corporate members, as grandfathers or grandmothers, as leaders, whichever role we are, we have a common thing that ties us together, is us. We are all human. We have the same blood running in through us. We have the same way of expressing emotion, right? And I just put some things here together that I think will help each and every one of us through this pandemic. The first one that I will add to the self-care, of course, I'm not minimizing your response, is we have to change our mindset. We have to change our mindset. Looking at George Floyd, I'm sure, and the whole events of things that I mentioned ahead this morning about what has happened in 2020, we need to change our mindset. We need to be more open. How do we do that? Be more open, be positive, and let's recreate. We have to reinvent ourselves. I can't say that more than enough. Like, I need to say that all the time, that there's a need for us to do that. And my third advice is say words of affirmation to yourself. Those positive words in the morning, say it to yourself. You can say it to yourself at night as well. Say to yourself as often as you need it. The way when your anxiety is rising, I see a lot of people signifying that, this whole situation is making the anxiety to go up. For me too, it is. As a parent, I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? Our children want to go back to school. We want to make money. What are we gonna, how do you prioritize when everything is uncertain? Say those words of affirmation to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, you will do this. You can do this. That helps you mentally and physically know and calm down on how to address issues. Another one is remove and confront all false beliefs. Those are the ones that cause this anxiety. Some of them are tied to our culture. Some of them are tied down to the way, oh, that's how we do things. So you don't need to question that. Oh, that's how we need to be. We need to confront those mindsets that make it easy for us not to push the status quo, not to push forward in life, not to say, why can't I be the CEO of my life, right? Not to say, why can't I have 7 or 5 businesses? Why can't I be the manager of my units? Why can't I aspire to be a better person? All those false beliefs that makes it easy for us to just say, let's confront them. Let's confront those things that has put us in a box. The more we do that, the more it brings our anxiety. And have a growth mindset. Wherever you are as a person, always have that mindset to grow. Have that aspiration to move from point A to point B. And that point B has to achieve higher than your point A. Don't ever be satisfied in your comfort zone. Don't do that. Have that growth mindset. If you are, for example, the assistant manager of your unit, push forward. How can I be the manager, right? While you do that, how can I contribute to my life that my son will be the next potential mayor of Edmonton? Have those goals and have action plans to achieve those goals. Set that growth mindset where you are always making yourself an edifice of beauty, an edifice where you can actually work on yourself. Look at the image you're trying to create. Have that growth mindset. And the next one, I'll go to self-discovery. That self-discovery thing will help you to de-stress. A lot of us, I put that word de-stress there. It's a stressful moment for all of us. I tell my students, when this thing started and we all didn't know, oh my God, are we gonna leave the hospital? The patients are there. What's gonna happen? Am I gonna graduate? Or, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna have an A? Am I gonna be a C student? It's time to self-discover yourself. How can I handle this thing that's confronting me? If you need to schedule a me time every week, go, whether it's a massage that works for you, whether it's a bath time that works for you, whether it's a journaling time that works for you, find that way that your inner spirit self-discovers that strength, that thing that causes you to lower your stress, that thing that causes you to bring down the anxiety. And that journey, you have to be the chief executive officer that will discover yourself. If you have to go on hiking, I saw some people post pictures yesterday, they went hiking. If you need that time to go for a walk, please do that. Go for a walk, say words of affirmation to yourself. If you have to be the master of that person to discover you, right? And find those ways to de-stress, right? And if it's time for myself, I'll tell you what I've done. When it's de-stress time for me, I go to my bathroom, I put water in the jacuzzi, and I get a glass of wine, and I stay there. I lock up my room. I tell my kids it's mommy's time. Don't call me, don't text me, no yelling unless the house is on fire. And at that time, I use my time to write down my goals. What have I done this week? Be accountable. What have I done? Steps by step. Lay it down. What can I do to make this better? What is the outcome? And I take them to write. I play some music. I play it loud. Give me an hour. That works for me. You need to find what works for you. Some people is sleep. Just sleep, shut that mind down and make, rewind. The next one I will talk about is create a safe and healthy routine. This healthy routine will help you, will help your family, will help your work, it will help your environment. This is very, very important because in a life that is chaos, a life that has chaos, there's hardly something good that comes out of it. So when you have a chaotic life and everything's out of place, it's difficult for you to bring out something good. Create that safe, healthy routine. Let the children know, or let your spouse know that by this time and this time you're up, in your bed. By this time you're doing your night prayer. By this time and this time, and we're getting together as a family. We are all sharing what we like, what we don't like, what we can change. Do you need to wash your dishes at night, or do you need to wake up and do it first in the morning? Create that safe, healthy routine that works for you. Make sure exercise is incorporated, safe diet is incorporated as well. Anything that you feel is healthy for your soul, anything that you think is healthy for your family, for your environment, please do it. This will be very helpful in this pandemic moment. And also create a safe environment. Environment has to be safe. Do we have any questions so far? No questions, Kiman?
No questions right now.
Okay, all right. So I'll just keep talking then. Create that safe environment. I really want to dig into this because the safe environment is not just physical safety, right? Safety comes first. Remember, your emotions has to be safe, emotionally, psychologically, physically, spiritually. And remember, I'm gonna state. I don't know. Does anyone know about Claire's law here in Alberta? People don't know.
Drop your comments in the chat box if you do.
If you do, yes. Does anyone know anything about Claire's law? Okay, I don't think there's any comments. Claire's law is. Okay, I'll just go ahead. Claire's law is targeted against domestic violence. It's a law that is operative in Alberta here and in BC, where when you're dating someone or you have a spouse or you're already married, you can actually go and search the history of that person, if they have domestic violence history, if they are a sex offender before. For those of us that are doing internet dating online, this will be very useful for you. For those single moms that are trying to bring in another dad, or single dads that are trying to bring in another woman into their lives, you can actually do a search to ensure your environment is safe. Your mental health is safe. Your emotions is safe. You can express them. You can address them. You can be in control of them. And psychologically, you are safe to be who you are. Create that safe environment. Look for resources that can help you create that safety net, that whenever you go out doing your work or do whatnot, when you come back home, it's your environment and it's safe. Safe for you to be versatile. Safe for you to express, safe for you not to be afraid that, is somebody going to stop me at night? So if your environment is not safe, I'm going to use this to tell everyone, if you feel your environment is not safe, please reach out to somebody. Call the police, reach out to somebody that can be of help. Whether when you're not watching for your kids, if your environment is not safe, get out of there and reach out for help or call for resources. And remember, safety comes first. You have to be safe to be able to fulfill your destiny. Okay? The next big one I'm going to talk about, the next big one I'm going to talk about is the mental check. Every one of us as human beings, we have a brain. Our mental status is very important. You remember I mentioned about having that mindset, a growth mindset, change your mindset. It starts from your mental check. If your mental health is not okay, it's very difficult for something good to come out of it. That is like your machine room, is like your engine room, is like your core. Ask yourself in the morning, some of us have history of mental health, and just let me know, it's not a stigma. It's not a stigma that you're having a hard time and you're probably battling with depression, or I think I'm not sleeping enough. Every morning, if you need it every morning, ask yourself, ask your children, ask your spouse, how are you feeling today? Do that. I think a lot of us don't do that enough to be able to know where we can, we're not doing that enough to know how we can channel our strength, how we can channel our goals, how we can channel how to find help. Ask yourself every morning, and I put this on there. You can do a chart every week, and every week you can look back. Oh, last week was really rough for me. This week was really, is much, much better. Excuse me. I know there's a lot of people that have lost family members due to COVID-19. You've seen it. There are a lot of cases. Even if it's the racism that is going on, the protest, it just makes your heart to sink. Every morning, ask yourself, how am I feeling? Am I feeling great? Am I going to give myself, I'm feeling good? Am I doing okay? I'm not sure. Or am I having a hard time? Monitor your emotions and your mental status every day. Every day, if you want to do it every week, fine. Monitor it intentionally. And before, if you think you're going to fall between when you're constantly having a hard time and you're struggling, or you really need time to reach out, if that is going on for more than a month or at least 2 weeks, from a nursing perspective, please go and see your doctor. If you're having problems sleeping and it's going on for 24 hours, 72 hours, now it's going for 2 weeks, and you're seeing your son, oh, usually that boy, when he sleeps in bed, it's usually fine. For the past 3 weeks now, I think he's not been sleeping. Ask him questions, ask her questions. Sometimes, when we have situations that happen, let me say this, if things happen in the family, it could cause some of this, where your emotions is really hard. Like if you've lost a family member, if you have a job loss. When situations happen, there are sometimes that situational problems you can't find time to sleep. But when it's lingering on for a long time and it's affecting the way you function, you need to reach out for help, okay? This will be a tool. You can screenshot it. You can ask your kid every day, screenshot it, use it. Use it to monitor your core machine, your mental status, because if your mindset is not right, if your mental status is not right, it's gonna be difficult for you to do anything right, because that is your machine, okay?
For you, Lola.
Okay, all right.
Question in the chat box, and it says, what about those who are saying that as Black people, we should try to solve issues between ourselves and not go to these institutions? What do you have to say about that?
Very good question. Very good question. Thank you for that question. The word solve, that is what I'm saying. How do you solve things? Make a list. So it's easy to say, okay, it's better for us to solve it, right? How have you mapped out? What are your action plans that you have in place to solve it? What are the action plans you have in place to solve it? Is it to talk about it safely? Is it to express your hurt safely? And some of these institutions that we're talking about, are you talking about, because now, whenever you want to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or even, therapy section, they will ask you, do you want a religious perspective with it? Do you want to talk about Christianity? Do you want not to? So to answer your question, if that's a personal question, I will ask this question. You're not judging anyone, but what are the action plans? If that is their perspective, what are the action plans they have in place for us to really solve it? Are they creating forums for us to talk about it? Excuse me. Right? They create a safety net for our youth to really express their emotion. For me, I have a problem watching and seeing and reading the history of what they've done to Black people in the US and the African Americans that have done to Black people. I have a problem when white fragility comes in, when somebody is actually giving you the statistics of the realness of what's going on. So to solve it, I think we should have an action plan. Is good. That's what I'm talking about, false beliefs. Is that a false belief when you just say blanket idea, let's solve it without going to these institutions? Let's see what they bring, this institution, and let's see how the action plan is to solve it, right? For me, that is, I'm supportive of anything that will help us as Black people, anything that will move me forward, anything that will move my sister forward, that will move my brother forward. Let's win together, but we need to know how to take the walk and do the steps. We need to know how. Does that answer your question?
I think it did. Thanks, Lola.
Okay. All right.
Do you have time for another question?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm going to ask another question from the chat box. So a question was submitted that asks, I'm not understanding. Can our mental problems be treated as we treat mental problems here? Can our mental problems be treated as mental problems here? Does the medical corporation have the tools to treat mental problems in Black communities? And what are the resources for us out there? So I guess the overall question is, does the medical corporations that are here have the tools to treat the Black community? And if they do, what are the resources that we can tap into?
Very, very, very good question. I really appreciate that. For me, I will give you this question. I don't think the majority of the hospital systems have ways to really, really address specific issues that pertains to people of color, But I think this is where the rebirth and the reassessment and the reinvention is taking place, where we, people of color, have to create our own safety net. Now we have doctors that are Black people, that are people of color. We have surgeons that are people of color. We have nurses that are people of color. And if it's your right as a patient to demand, like from our culture, to be open, if, in terms of mental status, to say, from our culture, this is what I believe in. You have that right to express yourself. If you think they are not meeting your goals, then you can actually look for somebody that can speak the same language as you. I'm a nurse, so whenever I see people from my culture coming from, people of color, I pay special attention to them when they're talking. People of color that are immigrants, of course, all over, even there are people that are immigrants that are not just Black people, So I think generally the hospital system or the medical system don't have enough resources to actually address issues that are common to immigrants. So it is now the time for us to start reinventing ourselves. Let's form organizations, or you can request and look for nurses or doctors that are people of color, or people of, if you are Iranian, people from your country that can support you, and ask those questions. And if you think your needs are not met, you have the right to change, you have the right to move. Does that answer the question?
Perfectly, thank you.
Yeah. Is there another question I can answer before I move forward?
Not at the moment.
Okay. And I need to acknowledge this, and actually our mental status, our mental check that we do as people of color or as immigrants generally, we need to pay more attention to it than people that don't have the challenges that we face. So we need to put it, use it more often. Teach our children more often, use it in the house, put it on the refrigerator. We need to use it more often to find ways that we can channel our emotions, the way we can channel our mental status and actually find that balance. We need to use it more often, and don't be afraid to express it. Don't be afraid to say, today, I think I've been struggling for, this is what I'm feeling. ask for it, demand it. And it's okay if somebody says no. Know when to walk away and know when to stand for yourself. And this is a time for us. And I see a lot of, in terms of, the racial injustice and social injustice in the US and everywhere in the world, we all can see that there's this like an eye opener to see that there's a need for us to stand up and really, really push those boundaries that has kept us, behind our goals, behind our functions, behind that is not making us to fulfill the destiny we need to fulfill to the uttermost part of who we are. So I will move to the next slide, and this will focus on making positive changes. The first one I will talk about positive changes, begin to save intentionally. I know every year people want to go on vacation, or we want to wear nice clothes, or all those are good. But now begin to ask your question. Begin to separate the needs from the want. Do I really need this? Or I just really want it to feel among, to belong. Let's start saving intentionally. And this talks about finances, as generally. What can I do? What can I do to put the same effort and I can have the maximum financial gain? And it has to be legal. Please, let me disclaimer here. I'm not campaigning for people that will commit fraudulent or illegal activities, but let's start doing things that will make us to be protected financially, right? Whether now for our children or even in the future. People like the people that have JCPenney, the people that have Marks and Spencer, all of these names, they all started from somewhere. And I will give some advice here. If you have not done life insurance, look into it. If you are not saving for yourself, having a lifetime goal where you can save in bits and bits for yourself, in disability, all this insurance that even when you're sick, you can get some money back and you can reinvest that. Please start educating yourself about things like that will add more value to you as an individual, so you don't just live from paycheck to paycheck. That enough is a mental stress on its own. Okay, my next point is always operate from the position of love and peace. This is very, very sensitive and difficult sometimes when you feel attacked, right? But always know your core. Always operate from that position of love and peace. Speak to yourself. Every one of us have a soul. We all have an inner man we can talk to. Talk to yourself. I have the peace. I have that peace. And it's okay if they don't want you. If they say, get up from our table, move aside and create your own table. I tell you, you'll find your own tribe. You'll find people that resonate with you. And behold, all of us have fingerprints. It's not the same. Is not the same. So God and nature and whatever you believe in, whatever, I'm not putting one religion, whatever you believe in has made you unique. So operate from that place and you will see people that believe in you and they will gravitate towards you. And the next one is ask yourself that tough question before your tough situation actually starts to confront you. Pandemic is the main one. Okay, what's gonna happen when my kids go back to school? What's going to happen when I go back to work and I don't feel safe? Begin to ask yourself those questions so you can have an action plan. An action plan is the step-by-step. You create those situations. What am I going to ask for? What is my deal breaker? Ask those questions. Ask yourself those tough questions. For the children, I've asked my children in school, if they want to go to school, yes, but will there be virtual learning or virtual option if they cannot go to school? And make it an action plan that you can ask yourself and you can actually implement when those time comes, right? And of course, for COVID, use your masks, use your glove, ask yourself those questions. If I go, okay, I want my friend, I want us to have a good time, I want us to laugh, but what if I go, and I come back positive? What's going to happen to my children? What's going to happen to my spouse? What's going to happen to my work? Ask yourself those tough questions and look at it from a broad perspective, not what pays you. And look at it, the implication of your actions as well. Weigh it and implement the one that makes you go further. Okay, and my next one will be challenge yourself from your comfort zone, and do that intentionally. Most of us women, once we are above 40, we know that once we start eating, then we start gaining weight, or when we start having children, that's another thing too. Once we start working, then time, before you manage time for kids and change of roles and all, challenge yourself from that comfort zone. Okay, I need self-care. I need time for myself. Kids, this is what I'm going to do. I know we all want us to sit down and laugh and smile. Yes, but mommy needs time for herself too. Because when all of those things around you are gone or they're challenged, who are you? You need to find who you are. So challenge yourself from those comfort zones. Learn a skill. Learn a freelance skill if you want to be an author. Anything else that can give you that side money or side hustle, they call it, quote unquote. Learn those skills. Go online. Take certification. Go out from your comfort zone. If you want to learn how to do lashes, you can have that and start that part-time. If you want to learn how to make hair, start learning that from your part-time. Some of us are really, you can teach and you can talk and talk. Can you teach children? You take a certification on that. If you're good with kids, and start doing that by the side, part-time. Challenge yourself from that comfort zone where the 24 hours is gone and you can't say, this is what I've achieved, this is what I've done in the last year, this is what I've done. So challenge yourself. How can I move myself forward? How can I decorate myself? So when you create an image of yourself in 2018 and you look at yourself in 2020, you are pleased with what you see. You are pleased with who you are. And make sure those comfort zones, the ways to achieve those steps, they are things that are realistic. I know a lot of us like to set goals as well, which moves me to my next point. Set new goals and make new action plans. Set goals that you can achieve, right? So for example, if you're a businesswoman, you have your own beauty shop, you have your own salon, and you just do hair. Can you learn more skills and go to laser? Can you learn more skills and add more value to you? Can you learn more skills and expatiate on your strength? What are you good at? These hands that God has given every one of us can do more than we can think on him or imagine. Some people are good with hands. Work those skills. See what skills that you can do. Can you draw? Are you more artistic? Learn art classes, do paintings, sell it, put it out there, put it around your house. Beautify yourself, beautify your environment, beautify your generation. Some of those things that Rockefeller and all those people in New York did, that's what some of their children are enjoying now. Let your children and your children's children be able to look back and reference you, that if not for my mother, if not for my grandparents, this is what they did 100 years ago. Let you be the pillar that change things and move things around for you. And it starts with you. Okay, and of course that leads me to my next point. Recreate a new you. Your business, your friendship, your family structure. Make new connections and let those connections be meaningful. Let them be able to add value to you. I know for younger generation, they are very techy and they try and experiment a lot of things. Even for women, adults too, sometimes you are wondering, okay, I want to get married. Okay, I got married. I want to have children. Now I have children. Oh, I want a new job. Now, so what next? Create a new you that is beautiful. Don't just be like Beyonce in the face and you're not doing the legs of what Beyonce does, right? So imagine if somebody comes into a room and they have the right side face of Beyonce and the left side is like Donald Trump, and and the face is just all over the place. No, it shouldn't be like that. Create a new you that you love. Let that, your expression, the way you achieve your goals, your business, your friendship, your connection. When you speak with your, network, you speak the same language. The goal is the same. Feel comfortable. You are able to make goals and set goals. You push each other ahead, push each other forward. You support each other. You encourage each other. And it's not too late or it's not too early to start reinforcing this mindset into our children, because by the time we're retiring, they are the one that will be speaking and be making actions for us that you will be pleased with. And of course, learn and develop a new skill that you love. If it's summertime, so kids are home, it's good for them to play. Let them play, but let them be accountable. What do you want to do with this summertime? Do you want to, pay them and say, okay, this summertime you're going to clean your room and you're going to earn $1 a day whenever you clean your room and make your bed or arrange your room. Let them learn something that they will incorporate into themselves, into their life, into their leadership skill. When they start school in August, there will be a better version of themselves. So these are the quick tips I have, and I will just run straight to the tips about the PPE that we all will be wearing now as we're going to work, as we're going to the store, as we are going to schools. We probably are stuck with COVID-19 for a while now. So it's very important that we know how to wear a mask and we know how to wear it properly. We all are going to be wearing masks. Maybe probably children are going to be taking it to school, gloves as well. It's important that you know this quick and very important thing so we can do it correctly. These are the key rules to wearing mask, and I'll do a quick demonstration. Whenever you find a mask, make sure your mask is clean, of course, and I'll do that once I get it's clean. It's not been used before, and make sure it's easy for you to breathe. But some of us that are buying a mask, cloth mask that they are made, or some of them that they're importing from China, make sure the mask is easy for you to breathe. Make sure they fit securely, okay? For me, can you all see this? The first thing is make sure it covers your nose, of course, and the lashes, and none of them is broken. So make sure they fit securely. The first way to put it as a nurse is make sure you pinch your nose. Pinch it on your nose here, and let it go behind your ear on the left and the right, and let it cover you all the way to the bottom. So this is pinched, and make sure it covers you all the way here to your chin. And on the side here, make sure that there's no loop, there's no space, and it's well secure. Because the essence of the mask, of course, is to, can you all still hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you, Lola.
Give me a thumbs up. Okay. The essence of you wearing a mask, the mask itself does not protect you from COVID alone. Of course, it's a combination of wearing the mask and other things. But when you're doing this, make sure it's well secure to your ear. If you're the one that are wearing the ones that goes across your head, make sure you take it all to the back of your head and it's well secure, that there's no spaces here. So if somebody sneezes that has COVID beside you, is not getting it to you on the left, on the right. And make sure it's secure all the way under your chin. And pinch it. You need to pinch it here so your nose is covered too, so it can secure around your nose. Okay? And to take it off, of course, that's another thing that I see a lot of people doing. A lot of people will wear the mask and they will just remove it and put it like this. Please don't do that. if, for example, I'm sitting beside somebody that has COVID-19, and for example, they sneeze on me or they sneeze around me, the droplets are here. I don't want to move it down here and move it around my chin where I'm talking. And of course, on average time, we touch our face almost like 45 times within a minute. This is touching your lips. Guess what, right? And by the time you want to wear it again, you just say, oh, okay, I'm in the store now. You use the same hand, you put it here or across your nose. Now your hand is soiled with a virus. So be very careful. If you're gonna take it off, just take it completely off. And to take it off, make sure your hand is on the lashes on both sides and remove it at the same time, completely across your face, because you don't know what has touched here or what is seated at the front. You want that completely out of your way. If you want to reuse your mask, put it in a Ziploc bag and label your name on it. You do not share masks, don't share it with anyone. Don't share with family members, even though we love you, family members, but we don't share that, okay? And use hand sanitizers, of course. Use hand sanitizers, stay away from those of, there are a lot of recalls of hand sanitizers now. I don't know if you're all aware of that. But there's a lot of recall from Health Canada, and I'm watching it closely, so you know which one you can give your kids, which one you can use. So monitor those ones that are recalled, and please don't buy them or use them. They will cause more havoc than good. Then disinfect all surfaces, your clothing, your carts when you go working. You can get this hand sanitizer you put in your bag. You can wipe it when you go to shop, wipe your shopping cart. Whenever you go home, wipe it. If you bring bags from the store, make sure they are all sanitized before your children touch it. There are some devices now that are electronic that you can use. You just scan it over the item and it kills the microorganisms. You can buy those as well, and take your time. Follow your guidelines for the health department. I'm assuming everybody here is probably from Edmonton, but if you're not from Edmonton or Alberta, if you're from Africa or whatever you are, make sure you follow the health guidelines from the US. Make sure you follow the health guidelines for your safety. COVID-19 is here to stay and is not a hoax, it's not a fluke, it's here, so we need to know how to get on top of it. And of course, try and plan your day. Plan your day ahead so you are not everywhere. You don't know what to do. Plan your day before you go out. If you go to the store, make sure you go to the store and this is what you do. You wipe your cart. If you want to have change of clothing before you get into the house, if you have young and infants, you can do that. Plan your day. Be intentional about what you do. These microorganisms, we can't see them, but of course they can affect us in many more ways that we can imagine. So that is the end of, there's some resources here, that's the end of that. And for gloves too, I want to believe all of us know how to wear gloves. For the gloves, there are different sizes. Make sure you buy the size that's appropriate for your hands. There's small and there's large and there's extra large, and so make sure you buy the one that's appropriate. When you buy the one that's appropriate and you're wearing it, don't buy the one that is too small that you're putting the virus all over your hand while you're taking it off. And whenever you're taking it off, I think that this is a small one. Whenever you're wearing it, of course, hold it at the edge there and gently slide your hand in. Gently slide your hand into the fingers, okay? And when you wear this glove, whenever you decide to touch your car, make sure, if you want to touch something else, take this one off and dispose of the gloves properly. And to take them off, make sure you don't touch the salt part that has all the virus. Put your hand inside here, touching your skin, and flip it across your hand so that the virus is inside and where it's touching your skin is outside. And that's how you use it and you dispose of it properly. If you want to do the same thing too, so the inside that is touching your skin here, it says you can touch and wash your hands before and after. The same thing goes for the mask too. To wear it, you wash your hand before. Whenever you take it off, make sure you wash your hands, okay? And please, it is essential for us to stay safe. And I really wish you all well. And in an effort to go back to work, I don't know how comfortable we all are to go back to work, for kids to go back to school, to go, to go play in the playground. But I would like to leave this with you. Please, please remember, a wrong effort in the wrong direction is no effort. If you're going to wear your mask correctly, if you don't wear it correctly, it's zero effort. If you don't wear your gloves, if you don't clean anything correctly and take care of you correctly, it's zero effort. So sometimes, whether you're putting in 20% effort or you're putting in 100% effort or zero effort, if it's not done in the right direction, it's no effort. So please, let's put our effort in the right direction so we all can be safe and we can stay healthy. And I have a poll here, and let me know, how confident are you to resume life after this COVID? How confident are you resuming life with everything being opened up? Let me know, is it 100%? Is it 75? Is it 50? Is it 20? Or you're not even confident because I don't even know what's going on. They're opening up school and they're opening up this and that. Are you confident in moving forward? So let me know, how confident are you in moving forward? And I see 80 and 75% are not confident. They are not very, that's good. So we have some good percentage, but remember, do this correctly. Wear your gloves, wear your mask, be intentional about how you do your day. I will be putting some gems on how to live, confidently in this pandemic. You check my website, Instagram, please feel free to see what we put on there if you can use it to boost your confidence in resuming life and put our effort in the right direction. This is my contact. If you need to contact us, we have a couple, our team. If you want to contact us, have any questions, health-related questions, please feel free to send us a DM or call us and let us know what questions you have. And the last thing I would like to drop again about putting the effort in the right direction is for some of us, those of us that are out there working. If you're not working from home, make sure your workers' compensation is activated and your disability. If you're sick at work, make sure your employer actually is taking care of you. Workers' compensation is available, and your disability, your insurance, so make sure you're taken care of, even if you get sick at work or while you're doing your job or what you know how to do best. Please stay safe. Let me know if you have questions, and that's all I have for you. Thanks for listening. You are amazing people. Thank you for
Lola. Thank you so much. We do have a few questions for you right here.
All right.
So let me get started. I want to scroll upward. All right. Okay, so the first question, maybe leave the slide on your contact details so people can take notes while you're going through. Absolutely. But the first question we have here is, in as a general belief, we think we have do you think we have a lot of mental problems in our communities? Is this true? And this is a three-part question, so I'll let you answer that one first before moving on.
I think truly we have a lot of mental, I wouldn't say mental problems. I think it's questions unanswered that can be addressed once it's safe for them to express themselves. So I wouldn't call them mental problems, but I think it's mental inquiry, where people don't know how to ask or how to express their frustration. I think we do have that in our community. And of course, you're seeing that in what is going on in the US, the anger, the aggression, the hurt that has been trapped, that has been bundled up, that have been suppressed for many, many years, 200 and something years, and now it's coming out as rage. So it is true. and we need to find a safe environment to actually channel those energies into something positive.
Can you confirm if the members of our community are more at risk than any other community?
I wouldn't think we are at risk, no. As a nurse, I don't think so. No, I don't think we are more at risk, no.
Okay, another question is, as you're in the medical field, you know, there's a belief that mental health is taboo, especially in the African community, and them talking about it. So even living here, we still believe in witchcraft and many other phenomena. So how
2:00.
How do you get our women to talk about their mental problems and find help?
Oh, that is a very good question. Women, particularly, we have different roles. And I know our culture, not only our culture, even Indian culture. I had a student a while ago and he was battling with depression, mild depression. He comes to the clinical environment and he's totally confused. Sometimes you tell him something, by the time you ask him to repeat the same thing back, his mind wasn't there. And there's anxiety in him. You could see that something is wrong. And I told him, I just gave him some tools to feel, to just fill this out to see how you do it. And we found out that he probably have mild depression. It is true that our culture don't believe in mental health. And with all this witchcraft and manipulation, I'm not saying those things spiritually are not there, but there are some things that we don't need to over spiritualize that we can address in terms of medical, in terms of health and wellness. For example, if you know witchcraft, or I'm not promoting anything, but that will not help you lose weight. If you don't lose weight, that affects your heart. It affects your heart health. If that does not affect, if you don't take care of that, it affects your kidneys, it affects your skin. There are some things that cannot handle, and there are some things that medicine can handle. And I think it's good for us to find a balance where we don't mask one over the other.
True. Thank you, Lola. Another question then is in regards to the gloves when you did the demonstration there.
Yes.
So someone is asking, when it comes to, okay, what is your feeling about folks wearing gloves outside of clinical applications?
It's my feeling about that. We cannot teach everybody, but I think we can educate each other. Some people just don't know. Some people just follow the trend. Some people will learn if they see someone to tell them how to do it. I think we can't do this enough to educate. I can put this on my website. I can put it anywhere. We can't do too much if we educate our community. So if you see someone, for example, that is removing the gloves and dropping it on the floor, of course you can talk to them because that's littering. But if they're not wearing it right, I think the more we create this awareness, and that's why I have the resources out there, the more we can put it around our workplace, put it around your home, put it in schools, environment. The more we educate and put it around there, people will learn and they will know that they are doing themselves more harm than good by just touching everything, touching their face and touching their kids, even though they think, oh, I have gloves on, I'm not going to have COVID. No. Right.
Perfect. Thank you. And the last question before we wrap up is, how safe is homemade masks?
Oh my God, a very good question. For me, it's a quality control thing. Being a nurse, so I see things from I tend to, I wouldn't say criticize, but question a lot of things. I don't think they're safe because they're safe if you can find someone that can double layer it. Some of them you can't tell about the texture of the clothing. We all know that there are different kinds of clothing. There's polythene, there's cotton, there's all kinds of clothing. Make sure at least they have cotton clothing and they're cotton and they're double layered, that they can at least withstand when somebody sneezes, it's not getting to you because these particles can travel. So make sure it's one that at least is thick enough for you to breathe, and it has 2 layers that can filter this droplet particles so that it can't get to you. We should remember this face mask thing is not fashion, it's to actually keep us alive.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lola, for that very informative, insightful, valuable presentation. There's many comments praising you for sharing your insights and, you know, keeping us safe with the information. So thank you for that. And if you haven't taken her details down, everyone, you have the last opportunity here to take a snapshot of Lola's business and where you can reach her. So thank you again, Lola, for that. It was amazing, and I'm sure all of you felt the same about that. So just before we go, just wanted to encourage every single one of you to check out BCW in Action at www.bcwinaction.ca for more information about what we do. Please subscribe to our newsletter so you can get information about upcoming events, different programs that we have running right now. We have some new ones coming up as well, so you definitely want to get those information. As I said before, this webinar is a part of a series, and the next webinar we have coming up is on July 3rd, which is next Friday at noon. So mark it in your calendars and watch out for that, where Jacqueline Shaw will be sharing with us rules of the money game during COVID-19, and that's something we all need right now, right? So definitely go on our website and check for information for that, RSVP, so you can get the Zoom link to your inbox. Try and think about becoming a member with us. And as women out there, if you're in business, career, you too can have the opportunity to share your knowledge like Lola just did. So feel free to send an email to us at info@bcwinaction.ca, and then we can take it from there. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. We're everywhere, and we're at bcwinaction.ca. So once again, everyone, thank you for joining, and that is all for today. Do have an awesome Friday. Take care.
One more thing, if you need, before we leave, if you need a nursing consultant or health and wellness advice, whether personally, for your children's school, for your company, please let me know. If you're a nurse or if you're working and you think your health is not getting satisfied and you probably need to speak to a lawyer from a nursing perspective, I'm a legal nurse consultant, I can do that for you. So let me know, and I'll put in some things on our social media to educate and inform. It's been an awesome time, Kim-Ann.
Thank you, Lola. The recording for this video will be on our YouTube channel soon, so you can also find it there as well.
All right.
Okay, everyone. Bye.
Bye.